guys, we're here in the heart of the city, and my name is Jernita Esprit, and I'm a leading wealth strategist.
And I am Nakinda, a success coach.
And we're just attending a wealth conference here in the heart of the city, and we just found out a little more insight about the wealth space and being able to distinguish the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And we had the privilege of being interviewed, and not only interviewed, but we had a featured guest who was able to grace us with his presence and also his knowledge. He's a leading wealth strategist within a space. Also, he's a graduate of the Robert Kiyosaki University, and he was actually featured on the BBC as being one of the most successful financial literacy coaches here in the UK. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage, the floor, Mr. Anthony Howe.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here. Lovely to be here. Honored to be on this call, on this interview with you guys. Just had a great session.
It was such a pleasure to have Anthony on this wealth conference and to listen to him, his experience and his wisdom. And there was something that he said that really stood out, and it was something to do with freedom and monopoly, and that really intrigued me. And we would love Anthony to tell us a bit more about what he meant by that, because we know it was useful to Jernita and I. We would just love him to share that with all of you. So Anthony, would you be able to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so when it comes to Monopoly, everyone's familiar with the game of Monopoly, right? Where you've got the family around the board, friends around the board, and everyone's trying to make as much money as possible to be able to win, right? Everyone's trying to get all of the real estate that's available so they can have more money than the next man. And what was really interesting is when I attended Robert Kiyosaki's University, and one of the first things we did on day number 2, we played this game called Cash Flow. Right? Cash Flow is a board game. It looks just like Monopoly, very similar concept. The aim of the game is for you to be able to achieve financial freedom. And what many people don't know is that financial freedom is not a particular monetary figure. It's not like having $1 million, that doesn't mean you're financially free. Financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your expenses, right? So for some, financial freedom is £500 a month. For some, financial freedom is 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. It all depends on what your expenses are, right? So if you're making a passive income greater than your expenses, now you are financially free, all right? And so the aim of the game...
Major key, guys. I hope you caught that.
Major key, because financial freedom is not just about money, it's about time also, right? Having the time to be able to do what you want, with who you want, when you want, for however long you want. That's freedom. And so when you're playing this game called Cash Flow, the aim is to be financially free. The aim is to be able to make enough income that surpasses your expenses, and to do it in a passive way. In order for you to be able to do that, you've got to invest, right? You got to invest in something that's going to give you a passive income. People are very familiar with property investing. You buy a property, you invest in it, you rent that property out, you're making a passive income. And so that's one of the opportunities that you get as you go around the board on Cash Flow. You get opportunities for you to invest in property, opportunities for you to invest in stocks and shares. You get opportunities to buy businesses and so forth. And so we were playing this game. There was a few of us around the table, and we're playing this game, and we're trying to make enough passive income to surpass our expenses. We were playing it for about 2 hours, all right? Playing the game for 2 hours. Nobody had achieved financial freedom.
Wow.
And then the teacher in the class says, right, everybody stop, I'm about to give you a tip that's going to really help you. So everybody's eager for this tip. We're like, okay, let's go. He says, I want you to find out who around the table has the lowest expenses. You got to understand that we have different people with different job roles, income levels, expenses around the table. There was a pilot, there was a janitor, there was a teacher, all right? There are different roles and responsibilities around the table. And so we found out who the person with the lowest expenses was. He said, once you find out who the person with the lowest expenses is, what you want to do now is come together, the rest of you come together and pool your money and invest in assets that are going to bring about an income that will surpass the expenses of this person. Is this making sense? So you want to find out who's got the lowest expenses, and then work together as the rest of the collective, as the rest of the family work together to pool your money to invest in resources that's going to help this person to be free. So we were like, okay. So once you've done that, then find out who the next person is with the lowest expenses. And so we did that, right? We got back around the table, we did this. Within 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, everybody around the table was free.
Wow.
So is it a concept sort of like working together to help each other in terms of the group economics and just pulling
Absolutely.
in resources,
Economics.
pulling in knowledge,
Absolutely.
pulling in skills so that we can all get free rather than one person competing against each other? Is it something
You've hit the nail on the head. We're conditioned to, you know, do everything for ourselves, by ourselves. We're against the next man. It's dog eat dog. We're here in London. I'm just amazed by just how fast things are moving here in London. And in Birmingham, it's nice and cool and calm. But in Birmingham, in London, it's like really rush. Everyone's trying to make a buck, right? Everyone's trying to win. Everyone's trying to beat the next man. But what I've just explained there is the beauty of teamwork. They say teamwork makes the dream work, right? While success and freedom is a team sport, it's not an individual sport. It's a team game. I'm from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, you guys, Dominica. We're from a culture, right, especially in the African community as well. You're seeing in other communities where people come together, Asian families, you know, Jewish families, they pool their resources to be able to help an individual within the family to be free, who then uses their time to help the next person to be free, who then uses their time to help the next person to be free. And so we've really got to come back to these kind of family values, because that's where success really lies. There's something within in the Jamaican community I don't know about in Dominica, but we have something called partner, right? Yeah, okay, you know about partner, all right? So partner. So in partner, right, everyone pools their resources, and each week or each month, somebody gets the whole draw, right? We were onto something there. It was all that's needed now is for us to strategically decide on what we're going to do, or what the individual's going to do with that money that they get. Because they can use that money to be able to invest in something that's going to bring freedom to the whole family. And so that's really why I kind of, you know, I warn people against playing Monopoly, because it gets you into a mindset, it gets you into a way of operating that is really selfish, and that will achieve success for one, but at the cost of others, right? And so I strongly encourage people to pay cash flow, because cash flow will get you into the right concept, get you into the right mindset. It will also cause you to make decisions that are more responsible. It will cause you to take time with your decision making, because you know that there's other people that are being affected by the decisions that you make. So yeah, that's what I was really alluding to when I mentioned about the you know, warning people against playing Monopoly. Is that be very careful that it doesn't turn you into somebody that's selfish in your endeavors, you know.
But you know, you just spoke about family. You spoke about us, you know, doing it as a team. And I'm aware that the cash flow, there is a mini version for young kids. Because as you know, a family is not just a mother and a father. A family consists of children, most probably.
Right.
So what advice do you have to parents who are watching this right now, or even future parents who are watching with the intention of having kids in the future? What age can they expose their children towards this cash flow or this world of investing?
That's good. That's very good. Because that's what helped me to be more responsible with my money, was becoming a parent, right? You guys are parents, so you understand.
Yes.
I'm a father of 5. So 2 things that I've really learned as a father is how to be responsible with my money, and how to break things down simply, because I want to transfer my skills and my knowledge to my children. So I've really learned how to really break things down, and hence the reason why, you know, I am the kind of teacher that I am, because I've had to learn how to teach with 5 children. So one thing I would advise 100% is get the cash flow game for kids, right? There's a cash flow for kids board game. It's going to cost you 4 or 5 times as much as Monopoly, but it's going to reap a reward 10, 20, 30, 50 times greater than Monopoly ever could. So I recommend you get the cash flow for kids and play that with your children, play it with the family, practice group economics as a family. What I did with my children, we played it and they automatically started playing it like Monopoly, and it revealed to me that, oh my gosh, they've been conditioned to fight against each other, or to be competitive against each other. And then I stopped the game, just like it was with me. I stopped the game and said, right guys, let's all work together and help each other to get free. So get that game. There's a video I want to recommend on YouTube by Jim Rohn, and it's called How to Spend the Dollar. How to spend the dollar. This is like one of the secrets of the wealthy. They teach you how to spend the dollar. In other words, how to portion your money. you know, putting 10% into saving, 10% into investing, 10% into charity or into tithing, and living off 20% and so forth. I recommend that get your children into that from now. You know, get them piggy banks, a piggy bank for saving, a piggy bank. So with my children now, I mean, you know, got 2 teenagers. They get pocket money, but we put the money in their hands and we give them a responsibility for them to send 10% of their money over to an account, like we've got Monzo account where you can separate up the different pots and so forth. So I highly recommend that you get your children practicing, get them into that practice from now. So they're not living from paycheck to paycheck, but they get the money in, they think that all of that money is theirs.
Multiply the money, right?
Right, multiply the money, teaching them the skill of separating up their money and also teaching them how to multiply their money. You know, they have to have an investment pot. And if you can teach them that principle from now, regardless of the amount, if you can teach that principle from now, you're setting them up for life.
I really love what you're saying, because we need to set our children up for life. We need to expose them to the world of investing, because it's not, there's more to life than just saving. You know, like growing up, especially our parents or our grandparents, we were taught how to save. I know my mom is great at saving. But what is that doing for you? How is that money being multiplied? And I think it's really imperative that we expose our children, no matter what age they are.
Yeah.
They're never too young to learn,
Yeah.
and they've proven that.
Absolutely.
And you know, their brain is like a sponge, so they absorb everything.
Yeah.
And I really want to thank you very much for just having this little conversation with us. You know, we just came from the conference. It has been very insightful. We have a lot of people, you know, who are really moved by what you said. And from this interview, you've proven that you've got so much experience and knowledge and wisdom, and I think it's really good that you could share with others. So like, if someone watching this right now want to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me on social media. My handle is Howe on Earth, so HOWE on Earth. All right, so Mr. Anthony Howe, use Howe on Earth. That's how you can contact me. But in saying that, I want to say thank you to you guys for being such amazing students. Even just speaking with your children as well, Leah and Kenzie, and just seeing what they've been able to do in terms of multiplying their money. And that's phenomenal. That's really given me a huge idea. So look out for something for children, because I'm seeing that children, when it comes to investing, they experience a loss when they process it very different to the way adults process a loss, right? There's losses, there's risk with everything, right? Especially when it comes to investing, there's risks. But children process the loss taken that they experience from a risk different to adults. Children, they see it as like a computer game, right? They see it as like Sonic, Mario, they got different lives. So if they take a loss, they get straight back in. When we as adults take a loss, we're seeing that, oh, that's the electricity bill, that's the gas bill, that's emotion getting away. We're emotionally tied to that money. But children are doing a phenomenal job. I'm just seeing Leah being able to make money on your phone, and Kenzie making money, 3 figures, and helping people to be able to make money as well. I really feel like children are the future. Like, just give me a classroom of children, I think I could turn them into absolute millionaires, because the way that they process information. So I want to thank you guys for not only committing to our program, but also getting your children involved as well. And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Get your children into investing. I think children are natural investors. Children naturally know how to be able to overcome rejection, how to be able to overcome loss. They know how to be determined. They know how to set a goal and go after it, regardless of what you say. All right, they're very they have a strong posture, very persistent. You know, they have every characteristic that it takes in order for you to be able to be successful. I've had to learn this as an adult. I've had to relearn this. All right, I've had to become a child again, in a sense where I'm fearless, and so I want to encourage you to nurture the lack of fear that children have. Nurture your children's skills, nurture their tenacity, nurture their drive and their desire. Get them into the world of investing, and you've set them up for life. You know, you can give your children money, but if you teach your children how to make money, then you've left a legacy.
And that brings us so nicely on to building generational wealth and to giving our children an advantage that we did not have. As Jernita said, we were taught to work hard and find a good job and save, but no one taught us how to invest. No one taught us how to be the CEO of our own lives. So what you are doing, Anthony, is just so important, and in this space, in this wealth learning space, is just so important in building generational wealth, just so that we can move from from just surviving to thriving, as Jernita always says.
That's her term.
Jernita always says that, and it is so true, because we want to move to a space where we have the time and money freedom that you always talk about as well, and more importantly, not for ourselves but for our children. So what would you say to the children like Kenzie and Leah, who are already learning this mindset?
Yeah.
What would you say to them and to their parents to ensure that we take on our responsibility to pass on that knowledge and to build generational
Yeah,
wealth?
I like that question, and I like the fact you said, what would you say to them and what would you say to their parents? It's more the parents that I would want to speak to. Children, you don't have to teach them certain things, they already inherently know. We have a responsibility as adults to unlearn and relearn. So I really want to speak to the parents and encourage the parents to, as I was saying earlier, to really nurture the gift inside of their children. But also, as parents, I want you to make sure that you're up to date with technology, right? This is a technology age. You got to be up to date with technology, right? Our parents taught us, right? Our parents taught us to work hard. You know, it was a badge of honor when people ask you, how are you? Think I'm busy. It was a badge of honor for people to be busy. And now we're in an age where we've got smart TVs, smartphones, smart cars, everything's smart, right? We've got to be smart with it. If we're going to be able to not just survive, but also to thrive, then we've got to be smart. And so I want to encourage parents to stay abreast of the latest technologies, because that's where the money is right now. The new ways of money are digital, not physical. Right, we're going from bricks and mortar to clicks and order, right? So you got to know how to be able to operate in this space. We're making money. You just seen Kenzie and Leah. Leah's how old? 7. Kenzie 9 years old, and they're making money in minutes on a mobile phone. All right,
That's working smart.
That's working smart.
Not working hard.
Working smarter rather than harder, and that's what it's all about. So again, parents, familiarize yourself with these technologies so you can be able to support your child. If you don't familiarize yourself with them, then your child is not going to get the support that they need in order for them to continue with them doing what it is that they're doing. So the greatest teacher that a child can have is their parents. The number one encourager that a child can have is their parents. So if you get familiar with it, or at least if you're not familiar with it, take a keen interest and let them teach you. You know, the best way to learn is to teach, so allow them to teach you some stuff. But yeah, embrace technology. That's what I would advise parents. Embrace technology, invest in the technology, invest in programs for them. Because they know what they're doing. You may not understand it, but they do. All right, they do.
There's one major key, again, in what you just said, Anthony. We all have a mobile phone.
Yes.
So you're not asking or you're not encouraging people to do something strange. We all have a mobile phone. We're on internet, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. What about taking some of that time and putting it into an investment that will better yourself and your children's future?
Yep.
You've got a smartphone, we've got to be smart as well. So that's,
and if you do that as a family, right? If the family get around the table, if the family get together. Remember, like, there used to be a time when, I'm probably showing my age now, but there was a time where families would get around the table and eat. All right, how about we get around the table and make money together? Let's have these conversations. Let's work together strategically. Let's lay out plans, and let's see what each other want to achieve, and let's help each other to achieve those things. So this is really what we're bringing back. We're really bringing back those family values, that togetherness, that unity, and that's how we're going to be able to win. That's how we're going to be able to win.
I love the fact that you say achieve, and guys, that brings us to the end of our little interview with Anthony Howe. So if you would like to achieve greatness, you want your kids and your kids' to achieve what Anthony has just spoken about, click the link below. Let's connect and let us get in touch. Let's create generational wealth together. Thank you.
Love it. Let me bring these kids into the camera. Come in, Kenzie, Leah.
Yay! All right. Thank you.
Blessings.